Okay, go.
This is question 3. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? A media institution is an established profit-based organisation that deal with creation and distribution of advertising, entertainment and info services, which in short is a big company that produces things for money. The media institution that will most likely publish my magazine is Boa Media. It is a division of the Boa Media Group and is Europe's largest privately owned publishing group. It also has a large readership and caters to a range of audiences and genres. It offers over 300 magazines in 15 countries as well as online, TV and radio stations. Also, it publishes a music magazine which is similar to mine, which is Kerrang! Magazine, which is a rock music magazine which is the same genre as my magazine. Since my magazine is aimed at both males and females, it has a better chance of being successful since it has a more wider audience and is targeted at more people, since it's not just aimed at either males or females. Publishing and distributing my magazine. It will be published under Boa Media since it caters to a range of audiences and genres. It is a large company, so has experience and knowledge in sales and of magazines. It also has experience in multimedia and convergence, so are able to reach a wider audience. There's a number of ways in which they could publish / distribute my magazine, either on print, which is on paper, online, for example on a blog, or mobile, which is, for example, on an app. My magazine would be issued monthly, print copies which will be sold in major supermarkets, and you can also get subscriptions through the post. A version of my magazine will also be available online. Available through website, blog or app, which include interactive content. These will be regularly updated, including forums and videos. QR codes will also be included, so readers have a chance to get free things such as vouchers and gifts. It will also have a dedicated radio station, a TV music station, and will also be advertising social networking sites. Having my magazine published as distributed this way will make my magazine more successful, since it will be reaching out to the whole audience. It will give a number of options to how they could get my magazine. It will give my audience more of a chance to get my magazine. For example, if someone couldn't get it online or on their mobile, then they could get it on print. Published on paper means it's available to those who prefer to read their magazines on paper and own it physically. Available online on mobile means it's available to those who are more in touch with technology and prefer reading magazines this way. It's important to have my magazine available online or on mobile, since the internet has a big influence on our lives in the world today. Plus my target audience is a young age range, so would most likely use technology more.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would your app be free, or do people have to pay for it?
Free.
Okay. So how would you make money from putting it on an app?
They probably have to pay for things if they wanted music on the app. So
Okay.
get money from that.
So they would have control over how much they spent on that?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Question 4. Who would be the audience for your media product? Audience. My magazine will be aimed at both males and females of the teenage years, most like late teens, up to those in their early 20s that are interested in rock. They will be able to relate to people featured in my magazine. I also felt that people this age are likely to be interested in the rock genre. It was also easier for me to create a magazine for this target audience, since I'm a part of this audience due to me being a similar age and being interested in the rock genre. People around this age are also likely to use the internet, which plays a big part in our world today, and it's important that my magazine could be spread through ways on the internet, for example on a website. More helpful, since most people around this age tend to prefer to use the internet rather than going out to buy things. Also, my target audience would prefer to buy CDs or illegally download music and spend about £5 to £10 on music a month. Would spend up to £2 on a magazine about rock and follow popular bands such as Green Day. Younger and rhythm audience types is issued to research audience based upon their personality and lifestyle. It includes mainstreamers, aspirers, succeeders and reformers. My magazine will be aimed at people that are a cross between aspirers and reformers. People who are a part of this genre may still want to buy designer labels such as Drop Dead and Skull Candy, which is where the aspirers fit into. Also, they are more likely to buy CDs as well. Also, aspirers will feel more comfortable getting a magazine that is based on something that they really enjoy that may be different to the average interests of the country. However, some may not be bothered by things like this or fit into the category of reformers. Socio-economic group. This includes social grade A, B, C1, C2, D and D. My magazine will most likely be part of the lower grade, most likely social grade D, since my magazine is aimed at a young age, and those around this age tend to have no jobs or only part-time jobs due to being in education still. Also, from what I found in my research, most are only willing to spend between £1 up to £2 on a rock magazine, so perhaps don't want to spend a lot of money if they don't have a lot of money. Also, people of this target audience are reliant on piracy when it comes to getting music. Do I fit into this audience type? I would say that I do fit into this audience type since I am of similar age, part of social grade D, and fit into both performers and aspirers, and I'm also interested in the rock genre. Since I fit into this audience type, I know them better, and this allows me to use my own knowledge on the genre and its fans to make my magazine appeal to my target audience as much as possible.
Did you use your knowledge of who your audience was going to be to inform what you did quite a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Fab. And last one.
Question 6. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product? From Photoshop. When making my product, this was the first time that I properly used this software, so I've learnt a lot about it. For example, I've learned how to get images on Photoshop to use for my front cover, and how to put outglows on my text and puff to make them stand out more on the page. I've also learned how to put shapes on as well that I would use as puffs, and I learned how to cut people out from images and remove backgrounds. And now I feel more confident using Photoshop. In design.
Can I ask on Photoshop, what was the best thing what was the thing that you liked the most, found the most useful that you learned?
I'd say putting outerglows, since I used outerglows a lot.
Outerglow.
On my text, that was probably most useful to me.
Okay, great.
On InDesign, when making my product, this was the first time that I probably used this software. I learned how to put images on InDesign for me to use, and how to put text and shapes on my page. When putting on text, I learned how to change the colour of the text and font, and also I learned how to add an outline to the text to make it stand out. I still don't feel so confident using InDesign as I prefer using Photoshop, but I am more confident than I was at the beginning.
What makes you prefer Photoshop?
I just find it easier to use than InDesign. With WordPress, when starting media studies, this was the first time that I used WordPress and using the blog to present my work in general. And from it I've learned how to add media such as images, videos and files onto my blog posts. Also with the images I learned how to adjust the sizing of them. With PowerPoint I didn't really learn a lot from it since I've used it a number of times in the past. However, I did learn how to embed a video from YouTube onto a PowerPoint slide. I learned a lot from taking images.
Okay.
I found that when taking images in natural light, it can be too bright, it can make the model either squint or can wash them out. But if used correctly, they'll either overexpose them or make the photo poorly lit. I found that depending on the colour of clothing you wear, it can wash out the colour when standing in the sunlight, and also the posing can change the lighting and colouring of the photo too. I also found that when taking images outside when it's sunny, it's best to have the model stand in the shade so it doesn't wash them out and make them squint. I also learned that a background can change a photo as well, and that it's better to have a background that's quite plain but still nice to look at and not too busy to draw your attention away from the main focus of the photo, which is the model. I also found that rule of thirds was crucial since it can affect the photo. And also it's best to keep in mind about left side third, so it's best, especially for the front cover, so with the model it's best to have them positioned right, so then when you're making your magazine you can then put the text on the left side, so then people see where it's placed on the shelves.
So think about where your text is going when you're taking the picture. Yeah.
Clothing also affects an image. The clothing must fit with what the magazine is about. So for example, with my media magazine, the clothing my model had to wear had to fit with the theme of rock, so I had to wear dark clothing. I also learned that in photos, people shouldn't really wear clothing that was branded or from a sports team, as it make it look like the magazine's promoting and selling that brand or team.
Okay.
Specific things that I found tricky were easy. I found it tricky at first to do most things like using Photoshop and InDesign as a whole, but once I had enough practice with it, I got used to it, and I am now more comfortable using it. I'm more comfortable using Photoshop as I found it easier to use than InDesign, and I find it easy using WordPress and PowerPoint and image taking. However, I did find it tricky when embedding the videos from YouTube onto my PowerPoint slides. Good technology is important to the magazine industry in general, since good technology ensures that the magazine industry can make their magazines the best that they can possibly be. Also, good technology means that they can make their magazines look more professional, and good technology is also reliable and efficient. Tech tips for next day year: make sure you back up your work and save it regularly to ensure that no work is lost, because if you lose any work then you have to start it all again from the beginning. You can also use YouTube to help you with your work as well, since there are guides in there that you can use that will help. And use sites like Pinterest for inspiration, and become familiar with the program so then they are easier to use. And don't get stressed out or emotional whilst doing all of this work, because that won't help anyone, especially you.
What stressed you out the most?
InDesign, because I find it really difficult to use, and sometimes I didn't save my work, so that stressed me out because then I would have lost it.
Okay, great, thank you very much.